Casio A168W. Iconic watch, loved by collectors. Casio just upgraded all the functions but still kept that retro exterior. This is the new Casio ABL-100. We're gonna talk about the design, we're gonna talk about the upgrades, and if you already own the older A168W, then you're probably gonna wanna buy this, and here's why. Most collectors buy this watch for that retro 90s look. Now, Casio kept the same 90s look with some minor tweaks. You see the same chrome-plated resin case, same exact case shape, but slightly larger by a few millimeters on the ABL-100. The LCD, I'd say, is probably about 30% larger, and to be honest, more legible, less blurry. Same color scheme as well, which is arguably everyone's favorite thing about the older A168W. But here you have the same gold accents, reds, same blue and white borders. There is some text shifted around, but the colors are all in the same place. And they also added Bluetooth in the place of water resist at the bottom. One thing that I want to point out that's different already is the bracelet. Still using the same folded links, but now more angular and straight instead of the older model's rounded design. And Casio went for this really cool flat beads of rice kind of look. Super neo-vintage, plays with the light, and better constructed than the previous version. But all this isn't why you'd want to get this watch. The real reason is what we're about to go over, which is the functions. Now, from what I've noticed, there's 7 major upgrades to this watch. Technically, there's more, but you got to connect your phone to the watch, and I haven't really done that. So I'm just going to talk about what you can do with the watch by itself, and then towards the end, I'll talk more about what you can do with Bluetooth. Now, the first thing that I want to go over are the watch controls. There's 2 things that I want to highlight. First, being that now there's an additional 4th button, which is labeled search. When setting the time, timers, dates, etc., the light and the search buttons can be used as a plus or minus, which is a really nice upgrade, especially for timers. And then the second thing would be the light button. Now, I'm not exactly sure if this completely falls under the category of upgrade. And the reason I say that is because they got rid of the electroluminescence and then they added that orange LED. And rumor has it that Casio is trying to get rid of the electroluminescence altogether on all their watches. However, Casio fixed the one thing that always bugged me about the light, which is that you had to keep the button pressed. And now you can just press the button on the top right, and you can even program the light to be turned on for 1 or 3 seconds. And then upgrade number 2 is gonna be full date. So as you can see, now you have a full date. Displays the year, month, and then the date. And something that kind of bothered me before on the older version was the 2-character day of the week. For me, I don't know, 3-character day of the week is just that much more legible. Tiny detail, but big difference for the daily experience. And if you press the adjust button, the date display then changes to a little bar graph displaying your hourly steps throughout the day, which brings us to the next upgrade, number 3, the step tracker. Now, right off the bat, probably one of my favorite things about this watch, and it's not even just for the steps, but having a little bar graph, it's just such a cool little detail. You can set your daily step goal, you can set a reminder, so if the watch determines that you haven't walked for a certain amount of time, it's gonna sound a tone and then display a flashing step reminder. Pretty cool if you work at an office or if you find yourself just sitting down too much, you wanna be more active. And this is possible because the watch has an accelerometer built in. And on this model, the watch won't update your step count unless you move consistently for 20 seconds. Once it has detected the minimum movement, it will trigger the counter, and it will also account for the steps taken leading up to the 20-second threshold. So I really like that because it undercounts the steps slightly. So you know that when you reach 10,000, it's actually gonna be 10,000. But there's an even better upgrade to this watch, my personal favorite. Number 4, an upgraded stopwatch. So on the previous version, we just had the basic stopwatch function. On the ABL-100, we not only have the stopwatch function, but now you have a lap time function. And guys, I didn't even know I wanted this until I used it for the first time. Once you start it, you'll notice the elapsed time is also on the upper section of the screen. Now, if you just want to use it as a basic stopwatch, pretty much at this point you can. However, when you press the top left button, it records a lap time. It shows it for about 8 seconds, and then it resets the bottom count to measure a new lap. The stopwatch displaying the total time spent is still running up top. There's more. Once you finish with the stopwatch, it will automatically store the data in the records section. You can cycle through, and then you can see the last 200 records, and they're organized by date and time taken. You cycle through all the recorded lap times as well, and you don't ever have to use this function, but I mean, it's just a cool thing to have. Next upgrade that we see, number 5, is a 1-hour timer. Now, this is not the best timer. It's limited to only 1 hour, but still, I mean, we didn't even have that before in the previous version, so definitely nice to have it. As a bonus, you can still see the current time displayed up top. Now, upgrade number 6 is a dual time. Casio added dual time mode, so you can track one other time zone, and you can either use the Casio phone app to connect it to a certain city's time zone, or you can manually set it yourself like I did to whatever time you want. And again, on the upper section of the screen, you can still see the current time displayed. And it has a little PM indicator if you are not using the 24-hour time, which is a nice touch. Okay, and then lastly, Casio added 4 more alarms to the previous version's single alarm. So it's always nice to have more alarms even if you don't use them all. Yeah, so I guess I don't really have anything bad to say about this watch. I honestly couldn't recommend it enough. It's $80 on Casio's website, and I think it is totally worth it. Right now, actually, it's sold out, so you're gonna have to keep an eye out to see when it becomes available again. It really feels to me like Casio just took the classic A168W and just kind of upgraded it to fit more of like the current lifestyle of the average person nowadays. And I still absolutely love the A168W, definitely a Casio classic, but I just really feel like this is the next step. Like this is the natural evolution of that icon. Now there's more that this watch can do because it's really designed to pair up with the Casio Watch app. And I haven't really done that, as I've said before, so I can't really speak on anything beyond what the manual says. So I'm just gonna list some of the functions that I read, which I thought were really interesting. And if you guys wanna check out the manual for yourself, I'm gonna link it down in the description so you can read it. The first thing is the auto time correction. Obviously, if this watch is connected to your phone, then it's gonna sync up to the time so that you never really have to set it. And it'll do that 4 times per day. And then the second one, I believe, is a phone finder. So if you have this watch hooked up to your phone and you lose your phone, you can toggle a setting on the watch, I guess, so that it'll ring your phone on loud. Kind of convenient if you lose your phone a lot. And then another feature is that you can record a location on the map. So it's sort of like dropping a pin on the map, but in this case, I guess the map is on the Casio app. I don't really know why anyone would use this, maybe just to like remember a parking spot or something. I don't know, it's kind of odd, but either way, it's something that you can do with the watch. So that's basically it, guys. I just wanted to share this watch with you just in case if you haven't already heard of it. I definitely think this is gonna be my favorite Casio purchase of the year. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, like and subscribe so you don't miss any future content. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.